What's going on, everyone? Very exciting FOMC day today. Now, we had a massive pump, okay? Massive pump today. And what did it do? What did it do to the macro chart? How are we looking? Are we out of the woods yet? Like, are we crawling out of the swamp? Is that the low? We don't know yet. Okay? We do not know. So, typically what you see during FOMC, you could tend to see a reversal tomorrow. If we see that reversal tomorrow, don't panic yet, as long as we stay above last week's highs. Okay. Now, what I'm looking at here, that pump is as magnificent as it was. It's still on the inside of the range from last week. So, technically speaking, we're just on a little bit of a dead cat bounce here. Now, I know it feels good. I know a lot of you guys made money today. I know it for a fact because a lot of you guys in Evolution Traders made a lot of money today. So again, if you guys are not trading with us inside the room, I do not know why. Get with the community, get with people that can help you, get with people that you can lean on, and people that can hold you accountable. But with that being said, if you look at the weekly chart here, we're still trapped below our weekly 50 SMA. I would like to see us this week. Now, we still have a couple of days left. I would like to see us this week get over that 50 SMA on a weekly time frame. If we can get over that, our next stop is going to be 20,485, which is not completely bullish, but we're getting there. Okay. Now, if we do get over that 50 SMA and we do make a push sometime next week into 20,000, 20,400, 20,500, and we get rejected, and then we have another sell-off week where we get back down below the 50 SMA, which is sitting at around 20,000 right now as we speak. If we get back through that, then I'm going to be calling for prices of 19,200 and if not 18,368. Let's hope that this is over. Let's hope that this 4 to 5 weeks of selling that we had here was enough, right? We're getting a little bit of easing talk out of Jerome Powell here. So maybe, come April, May, we can kind of come out of this and, hopefully close to summertime, we're trading somewhat back up here towards all-time highs. That would be the ultimate bullish thesis. Now, if things are going to get sticky and things are going to get hairy, then we could still definitely bounce into this area over 20,000, get into 21,000 and a half, and that is going to create a lower high, which again, we do not want to see for a potential down move that still, I believe, takes us back down into 18, if not 17,000. I don't want to see that because that's going to take a whole year to kind of recover from that. Although there's going to be a lot of opportunity to make money in that type of market, your longer term investors are not really going to be happy with that. So let's see how we do. Let's look at the daily chart and see exactly where we stand on the daily chart. Now, the daily chart did test, right? The daily chart did test in getting over yesterday's highs. However, they failed to close over. Okay, you kind of seen that end of day after FOMC, after Jerome Powell stopped speaking. You kind of started to see that V shape kind of bottom, right? We start or V shape like decline. We had a massive pump followed by just a bottom all the way back down to essentially where it kind of broke out from, which is not the worst thing in the world. But again, I do want to keep you guys informed. We are creating a little bit of a bear flag. Okay. Now, again, don't you have to create a bear flag if you're going to push higher? Like, what if we push higher and there's no other way around it other than creating a bear flag, right? Well, yeah, absolutely. We don't have to break down below this bear flag, and the bear flag doesn't have to be bearish, but we're going to need to hold. Okay. We're going to need to hold. And what the two levels that we need to hold are these two lows. We're going to need to see markets hold above 19,660, 19,600. So let's just call it 19,600. Okay. We've got to hold this. If we don't hold this and you see a daily candle close below 600, these Bollinger Bands are so, wide right now that any spark of volatility back into the markets could definitely take you back down towards 19,000 and then into 18,000s. I don't want to see that. But again, we have to continue to play it and leave it on the table because we got to be ready to trade both sides of the market. Now, you can see the higher up that we go, we're going to run into a lot of supply. Okay. This is not going to be an easy road. This is not going to be an easy road to get back towards all-time highs. I would probably imagine that this takes 2 to 3 months to recover out of this, and you're going to get a lot of ups and downs in between that. I think that your major ups and downs are going to be between 20,400 and 20,100. That range is going to be exceptionally choppy, where you can see us actually coming up to the top of the range, and then you can come back down to the middle for a week, come back down to the bottom for a week, come back up to the middle for a week, come back up to the top. And it can do something like this for the better half of 2 months. If it does, that's bullish, because you're creating new structure in this range for that ultimate push higher out of it. Okay, that would be bullish. It's just for the short term. It's not going to be something that you're going to want to see, because price action tends to get dead, boring, and just very sporadic. Where do I see us finishing this week? Okay, I see us finishing somewhere around 20,200. If we can get up to 20,200, which is going to be testing our 200 EMA, all the way up to our 200 SMA, I think that's a pretty good spot between 20,200 and 20,400. That's going to create a little bit of a base right in this area. Okay, resistance here, support here, and a little bit of a bounce there that ultimately broke through when we put in these lows. So this range is now going to be our floor, and what's actively going to have to be watched. Okay, because if we do bounce into 20,200, if we bounce into 20,400, that's bullish for the short term, for your day to day. But remember, guys, we're still well below our 200-day moving average, which is in this zone, and we're still well below our 50 SMA, which is very important on a daily time frame. For the long term, like for your quarter by quarter swings, it's still very bullish context, but it's getting better, right? So if we do get into the zone of 20,400 to 20,500 and we fail, let's say we wick, but then we could fail to close over it and hold for a day or two, and we come back down, you could see a floor being right around here where we're at now, 19,500 to 19,900. This could be your floor. And if we can get some holds and now start to actually create a higher low, that's bullish. That's extremely bullish, because then that would be signaling to you that your low could be in. And right now we can't say that the low's in yet, because we have not stopped wherever that may be, and we have not pulled back to create that higher low. But look at what I just drew out, and I didn't even mean to do that. This would be an head and shoulders. I don't like that I drew that, but if that's the case, then we would be coming lower. But it is what it is, right? So we got to be prepared. Now, again, when you're building structure like this, it's very easy to say that, hey, the bottom is in, that's it. And then what happens? Everyone starts going long up here because they feel the euphoria come back in, and then it does something like that, okay? And it's also very easy for a lot of the eager bears to start saying this is just a big bear flag, keep on buying it up because we are making new lows. And then turns out that you don't make new lows, okay? So we're in a little bit of a tricky spot here. And I say that this is probably gonna, it's gonna probably get sorted out by right here, the middle of April. Okay, so I think it's going to take this much price action to see if we're going to make that new low, or that low has been put in and we're going to start pushing highs. Again, it's not that long, right? I mean, we've already sat through this much. What's sitting through another 2 to 4 weeks, right, to kind of figure this out? Those are some levels. Those are some prices that I'm looking at, guys. Stay safe. If you want to trade with me, I trade futures each and every single day using prop firms. Apex, you can use code DAnthony. Day traders, you can use code DAnthony. But if you guys are interested in learning my strategies, you guys are interested in getting with a community that can help support you and help hold you accountable to become a better trader, definitely want to see you guys in the room. That link to join is down in the description box below. I've recently cut the price 50% just to make it accessible for everyone who wants to join for the long haul. I'll see all of you guys on the next video.